Oh, you got peaks and valleys, peaks and valleys.
So, yes. Tara, how'd the house tour go yesterday? Did you go back again to that house?
I did, and I brought my mom, and Mike showed up at one point too, but he had to go take the kids to soccer practice, so he had to leave. I couldn't decide, so we went back and forth between the two models, the two that were interested, and I just could not make a decision, and I had to leave. So I'm
Oh.
actually going to go back today to put the deposit down. I think we've decided.
Oh, cool. Yeah, yeah. Well, and plus it's one of those moments of, here I got to go make a decision. Yeah, finality.
Like, how long do we have to live here for? I'm buying
Yeah,
it.
I mean, this is probably
Yeah.
it, the last one, so it's.
Doesn't everyone always say that though? Doesn't everybody always say this is the last home I'm going to buy?
Well, I don't know. Yeah, I guess
See,
so.
you're already saying.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't like to think of it like that. Then I feel like I'm buying a coffin. Yeah, I'm in New York, so I'm basically in a coffin already. But
Yes.
And it's true. Yeah, every time we've ever moved, we've been like, until we got into Chicago, and we're just like, screw it, these are apartments. We're going to be in an apartment for a year or two, then we'll try a different place and go see how it goes.
apartments are like the cloud. It's like I don't like this
They
one. I'm out.
are. Yes.
Get out of
Yeah.
here.
You can
Apartment living.
provision different space by, whatever
Yeah.
timeline you can size up or size down. And you have the noisy neighbor problem, just like
You
you do
do.
in the cloud.
Wow, this is a session. Not for me. You like the.
Oh, I'm having such a good time with the cloud. It's not even funny. So the project I'm working on this week is doing backup testing in Azure VMs and just having a good old time with that.
So how's that going?
So I should even open up the spreadsheet. Here, I'll show the spreadsheet up
Good
here.
idea.
I will pop open so I'm doing the whole spreadsheet. Of course, I'm testing Azure, and so that means I'm using Google Docs. Wait a minute, that doesn't make any sense at all. So let me pull this up, and I'll put it over on that slide. Make sure there's nothing NDA'd on that. Yep, perfect. Okay, so in this is, let me, well, I can't make it. Okay, perfect, that's fine. So what I'm doing is I should explain the concept first. So I need to test how fast I can restore data. Backups are less important. I need to know roughly how fast it is, but restores are the big one. That the company says you've got so much time, say we're just going to say 4 hours just to pick a number. You've got 4 hours. If you can only put in as many databases as you can restore in 4 hours, what's the sweet spot for pricing? Like if you pick a certain instance type, it can hold 5 terabytes of data, but it can't restore all of it in 4 hours. Or you pick another instance type, it's only got 1 terabyte of storage, but it can restore all of it in, say, 45 minutes. How do you find the exact sweet spot? So what I'm doing, we've already done a few rounds of testing, and these are the remaining instance types. And I'm in Azure an L16, a DS15, L32. So here's how many cores and RAM it has. We ended up settling on the extremely high network instances because those are basically around 10 gig Ethernet. Then what kind of storage I'm testing? Am I testing their local SSDs or their permanent storage? Is the storage encrypted? Because another requirement is that I have to encrypt the storage. Right now, I'm not testing on encrypted yet, and I'm about to see what the difference is before and after. So Pittsburgh says, I
What
can't.
you should take away from this spreadsheet is that real DBAs back up to null.
Right? Yeah, especially across 4 files, 20 files.
Yeah, go crazy.
Why would you not? Try and blob storage, all kinds of fun stuff. So there's a series of backup tests. Then there's restore testing as well.
Wow.
And yeah, so I'm trying from permanent storage to local ephemeral storage because maybe then I can push the backups up, or over to a UNC path, just all kinds of different options. Then tuning the servers on the other side, like am I writing to ephemeral or managed storage. Pittsburgh said, I'm sorry, I can't focus on anything Brent's saying because he was staring at the dog's butt. Tara's daughter goes by. We have like one of those CNN moments where the anchor tries to keep a straight face. Come on down, it's a party. I could show Ernie's butt. Hold on a second.
Big Earn, drunk already.
She's sound asleep. Yeah, so that's my project this week. I'm having a blast with that. So then, would the end result being how much can I cram in a certain amount of money? Now let me show the other spreadsheet. I got to pull this up on my side here, and I'll blog this whole thing when it's done. I've got an agreement with the client so that I can show all of their all the data and what makes the most sense financially. And then of course, what'll happen is the same thing that happens every time you post anything on the internet is people will say you're wrong, and they'll list 50 reasons why I'm an idiot. Let's see, open up Excel here. So this is perfect. So say that, so this spreadsheet is, up at the top I've got the number of hours that you're allowed to restore data. So let's change this to 4, for example. Now based on that, I got a bunch of Azure instances and Amazon instances based on their sizes, how much bandwidth they have in terms of I/O, and we just started with theoreticals, and how much they cost per month with SQL Server Enterprise Edition. Based on this theoretical bandwidth, how much in terabytes could you restore inside the span of 4 hours? So in theory, the GS5 instance, I should be able to restore 68 terabytes of data per hour. Now, of course, it kind of doesn't matter because you can't hook up 68 terabytes worth of storage to an Azure VM. But then you end up coming up with a price per terabyte for both permanent disks versus ephemeral disks. Ephemeral meaning throwaway local solid-state storage. So having all kinds of fun figuring out where the best bang for the buck is on that. All right, let's see here. All kinds of oddball things. And oh, Teddy says, is anyone else doing this type of restore benchmarking at all? I don't think I've seen anybody doing it. I've seen people doing disk testing on Azure and Amazon, but not as much the restore testing.
Yeah, I only did backups for GCE. I didn't do much restore testing.
Well, because frankly, people who, once you go to the cloud, you never need to restore again, right? Because they just take care of everything magically and nothing.
You do. It's like having a chauffeur.
Yeah, exactly. Nice. All right. Well, I will go step away and refill my coffee. Be right back. I will leave it to you guys to talk about dog butts.
I can talk about that for days.
Yeah. My daughter wants me to help her pick out what she wants to wear today for school, but she won't come on come closer to be on the camera. She's right next to me.
At least she wants your help. At 4, my kid's just like, no, I'm wearing this, and I'm like, you can't wear that.
Yeah, she always wants my help, but then she just, says, I don't want to wear that. Everything's, I don't want to wear that. So it's like, why'd you ask? I pick out like 5 outfits, lay them out, They're all cute, and she's worn them before. She's like, nope, I don't want to wear any of that.
Oh, man.
And she's like, why aren't you helping me? He's like, I did help.
It's like, I picked out 7 things for you. It's not my fault. Like, are you telling, like, are you playing some subtle manipulative game? You're like, I just want to go shopping? I was like, is that what's going on here? Because you can just tell me. I'm down to go shopping.
Come here. Oh, I'm a wreck. I need more coffee, too.
Yeah, I've been through 3 cups already.
Oh.
6, which isn't even that bad. It was just that, like, I think it was the way I woke up. Didn't agree with me. So cup number 3 of coffee was still just like. If you want to go get coffee, go ahead.
I have enough.
I'll see if there's any questions.
I'm definitely gonna need more, but I have enough right now. I waited until 5:30 my time to make it. And the only people I woke up, because I have to use the blender to blend the butter in there, and the only people I woke up was my husband and the 2 dogs.
Yeah, so how's the bulletproof thing going?
I like it. I mean, I tried it last year too, and I liked it then. But when you do it, it's high fat, so you really need to have a matching diet with it. So the keto diet, basically, keto or Atkins, low carb.
Yeah.
So I'm actually losing weight this time, so that's good.
Yeah, I'm trying to figure out what I need to do.
We need to not work from home because that refrigerator is just like right there.
I think for me it's not even like eating extra. It's just sort of the lack of activity. So it used to be I'd walk to and from work, which is a half hour each way every day. So like that added up, and like I didn't have problems then. I was a solid like $180, $190. Now, Man.
It's so funny that that's the one thing that happens when you telecommute. It's just.
Yeah.
We're sitting there, looking at pictures of Kendra and Jeremiah, and they're getting skinny. I feel like they did like the opposite of thinner
Yeah, the
to me.
opposite.
Like when they left, they were just like fatter. It's like,
It's true, because there's all these things that if you worked from home, you'd think, oh, I'll have all this extra time to work out, or I can eat whatever. No. Yeah, bad things happen. Yeah, rough. And I've been happy if I can just stay at the same plateau. I tried juicing for a while, so I'm like, if I've got, it's awful.
what kind of steroids did you take?
Yeah, all of them. The broccoli steroid is horrible. Yeah, it's
Brent
unbelievable.
Just on a monster dose of D-ball.
I could not believe the number of garbage bags, practically, of fruit and vegetables that you have to have in order to produce 1 cup of juice.
Yeah. And it's funny because you spend all this money on a juicer, but you have the best juicer in the world for free in your mouth. Your mouth is the ultimate juicer.
Okay.
If you're trying to get me to drink juice out of your mouth,
no.
better selfish than that.
I'm not gonna mama bird you. That would.
Woo!
I don't care how much that Japanese whiskey cost.
Jim says, anyone know if you can create named instances in Azure or Amazon Cloud? Any reason why this wouldn't be possible? So there's 2 kinds of, actually, hell, I can get a PowerPoint presentation out. Hold on a second, and I'll show you. And this will only take 5 minutes, and then we'll be done, I swear. Presentations, events. This is something that we give in our senior DBA class, as we have a quick present. Well, I say it's quick. The whole presentation's like an hour, but I'm only going to show you 5 minutes of it. Deep breath. So over on the left-hand side is, is my PowerPoint going? Yeah, show screen too. Okay, cool. So I'll get my webcams out so I don't have to miss this up. Okay.
How is that so high def?
How is that? What, the webcam or the
No, the slide. It looks so much better than my slides on camera. Mine always look like blurry or something. Yours are like shockingly high def.
Dun, dun, dun. It's an Apple thing, probably. On the left-hand side is infrastructure as a service, which is VMs. On the right-hand side is platform as a service, which is Azure SQL DB and Amazon RDS. So on the left-hand side, you can do anything that you want. You manage high availability, patching. If you want to install instance-level stuff, you can totally knock yourselves out. Over on the second level of this, you can pick any database feature that you want. If you want to use Service Broker, reporting services, analysis services, whatever, you can do anything that you want. They're just VMs. The thing that usually stops people dead is this bottom line here. Can you just back up your databases to either get them in or get them out of the cloud? Can you just hand them a backup file or get a backup file from them? This is where you hear the record scratch thing for people. With Azure SQL DB, you can't just hand them a backup, and you just can't take a backup from them. They have announced support for that in the future. It just doesn't exist today. So when you hear that record scratch type thing, think of infrastructure as a service being a team of people who work for the cloud provider who will let you work and build anything that you want together. If you want to build an availability group that spans your on-premises data up to Amazon and over to Azure all at once, knock yourself out, buddy. Whereas platform as a service is a little bit different. Platform as a service is just like a database administrator as a service. DBA will often joke that says, don't bother asking. No, you can't have that. No, you can't do this permissions thing. No, you can't have your data log shipped out or database mirrored out. It just doesn't work that way. So that gives you the quick answer as to which one makes the most sense for you. Can you do named instances in infrastructure as a service? Yes. Can you do them in platform as a service? No.
They name them for you.
They name them for you. Yep. Let's see here. Next question was, when are we going to see Azure SQL DB online training from you? I'll ask that to Pinky and Aratbrat. So when would you guys like to work with Azure SQL DB?
I actually did at my last job a little bit. We had one of our e-commerce, our high-end e-commerce gift-giving website was over there. That product no longer exists, but and I wasn't the primary, but I was part of an on-call rotation, and anytime I had to do work in there, I had to pull up the documentation to figure out what steps I had to do to connect and backups. So I was just like, there's no back. I mean, what are these backups? I don't understand what I'm doing here. So,
where am I?
Yeah. I didn't like it.
You didn't like it?
I'd rather a VM in the cloud than the Azure SQL or RDS.
Yeah.
Just coming from my background, at least, that's just.
Well, and it's what we chose to specialize in is like data professionals. We just ended up specializing in the black box that is SQL Server. When I started a consulting company with Jeremiah, Kendra, and Tim, I was like, the whole thing that I wanted to specialize in is I wanted to be technical for the rest of my life. I just wanted to just do this. I love the box product. Is amazing. It's so good. It does so many things. And it's nothing against other databases or features or products or whatever. This is just, I found my love. This is what I'm all about now. So, yeah. So as much as I believe that Azure SQL DB is really close, it's a wonderful product. I think that new developers should learn it. If you're going to go build a new app, you should do it in platform as a service type databases. We're using AWS Aurora, their Postgres compatible version. Because we don't want to manage database servers of our own either. None of us want to be on call. We just want to be able to fix other people's things that are broken or slow. Curious says, go back, screenshot, please. I don't know what back. Oh, he wanted the PowerPoint deck. Hold on a second, and I'll throw it back. I'm guessing he probably meant this one, so I'll throw that back up there. Diane, go ahead.
Oh, no, I was going to say, just the work for the white paper stuff that we did in Google Compute, that was my first, real getting into any cloud stuff and really kicking tires on it and really using it for anything. And I get like Tara, I just don't think it's for me. I like working with SQL Server where it is. The cloud really is for developers. The cloud I don't think is for DBAs really. I'd rather sit there and do my thing with servers and sit there and worry about all the cloud stuff that goes on with servers.
It's so for Mike, the mutual friend of ours, Mike goes, he goes, now that we're up in the cloud, he goes, I would give anything to be able to work with raw hardware again. He goes, everybody says up in the cloud you don't have to worry about hardware, and he's like, I really liked worrying about hardware, and it was really, really fast. He goes, now it's not fast anymore. I'm like, yeah, well. Diane says, have you guys ever seen slowness on SQL Server? No. When connecting remotely with management server, we have one SQL Server that takes more than 15 seconds to navigate through SSMS or right-click anything. I would say, if you guys had a server where it was slow connecting via SSMS or you had problems running queries, where would you start troubleshooting?
I have that now.
You do with SSMS 2017.
Just connecting to a VM on my laptop. It's slow. So for me, I actually solved a lot of problems. It was a VM thing where I hadn't set a high enough buffer reservation in Hyper-V. It was at 20%, and as soon as I cranked it up to 75%, everything went much faster. Now Management Studio is responsive. Just remember that Management Studio is querying your server to populate all of that information in the same way that you would with a query. So.
Yeah. Dang it, wait a minute, your kids are home. It's not spring break. What are they doing home?
It's 6:30 in the morning here.
I keep forgetting. I'm like, it's 8:30. Get her to school. She'll be truant.
School starts at 7:45, but I'll be having breakfast soon.
Have her get on here and present. What does she know about databases?
I'm kind of steering them away from IT. A few years ago, a lot of people were getting laid off. Everything was being offshored, and I think everything's a lot of stuff is back onshore. The IT market's booming, especially in San Diego. But I don't know. I mean, I think it goes up and down, and my son wants to be a robotics engineer, whatever that is. My daughter hasn't really decided, but I don't know that I want them to be in IT. They're coming from two parents that are in IT, so it'd be natural for them to do it. But I don't know.
Wow, if I had kids, would I encourage them to go into IT or not?
Yeah.
That's a really tricky question. I would be like, I've always been jealous of artists and people who can create things. I'd be like, why don't you go build, express yourself creatively, be an actor, be an artist, whatever. Don't have a boring job like your dad.
Well, unless you live in San Diego or somewhere where the high cost of living, then you kind of you can't do that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
You need to make a little bit of money to afford rent or buy a house or whatever.
Mm-hmm. Gail says
enough baristas with master's degrees
in literature and history. I should plug too. So you guys, right now voting is open at GroupBy. So if you go to groupby.org to pick the next round of sessions, you can click on Vote for June sessions up at the top because the sessions are totally picked by y'all. And there's a list of which sessions do you want to see. Now I'm not seeing them here as voting form because I'm not logged in. But when you go log in, you'll get the voting form. And voting is really close. So 1, 2, 3, the top 10 get in. So there's right here is the 10th cutoff spot right now, and you can see how close the voting is there inside there. Gail says, how do you access SQL Server that lives in a Docker container if you're outside the host? You have a bigger problem in a Docker container, your storage is not persistent. So whenever you lose that Docker container, your databases are gone. Right now that's not supported, like permanent storage inside a Docker container. In terms of how you solve the connectivity issue, it's just network firewalls that are done at the host layer. Martin says, can you explain how your new training subscriptions work? Not at all. I'm thinking of buying personally with a coupon. Is it a rolling subscription? Do I just cancel once I'm finished? That's a great question. So if you go, and I'm not just saying that because we sell training, but if you go to brentozar.com, today's the last day to save half off our training subscriptions. So if you click on there, you get to pick what your different training subscriptions are, which one you want to use. Don't forget, use the coupon. I see people still paying full price, which blows me away. And if you want to learn more about how they work, go to training and click training FAQ, and it talks about how you cancel. You can totally cancel whenever you want. You don't have to talk to a human being because I hate Comcast just as much as you do. God, freaking bless Comcast. Let's see here. What else are people saying? Somebody says payday time. It's time to buy training. All right. You know what we should do is we should have a demo. Is there anything else we should talk about with them before I go demo something?
No.
What are you going to demo?
I was going to demo lock escalation.
Okay.
Tara's tone of voice says everything.
I'm going to need more coffee for that.
Survey says no. All right, so what should we talk about here? I should ask you guys. JD says
we have something on the SAN coming up. Is there any fun disk stuff you want to talk about?
I could show Crystal Disk Mark. Well, I could show Crystal Disk Mark. And I think I'm always
curious.
Well, I'm always scared of stealing the presenters. What if I show the same things that? Oh, and Doug, you can turn. It looks like Doug got in. He just hasn't turned his webcam on. I'm always scared to steal the next presenter's thunder. You in there, Doug?
I'm here.
There you are. Ta-da-da-da. Yeah. So, and you can turn your webcam on if you want to. You don't. There he is. Ta-da. Oh, he looks all businessy. Where are you at today? You up in Minnesota?
Yes, I am.
How's the weather up there?
Well, it kind of depends on the hour right now, but yesterday we're getting a little snow, and today it looks like it's back.
Snow? God,
spring,
what month are we in?
You got snow yesterday?
Yeah.
What's wrong with you?
So, it's pretty awesome.
It was
I got the
90
snowblower.
degrees here last week.
Yeah. I have the snowblower and the lawnmower both out, so.
They don't just make an all-in-one for that? A Floby for your lawn?
Wow, that's incredible. I felt bad because it was like 45 here yesterday during the day, which, I mean, it gets that cold here at night, but I was like, oh, an awful face. Let's see. Oh, my God. JD says, any demos available for the interface between Microsoft Access and SQL Server?
That's even worse than the lock escalation.
Go on YouTube in 2003.
Yeah.
You'll find lots of stuff.
Oh, God, that's awful. Oh.
Are people still using Access?
Oh, and I still keep seeing it, but You know, as soon as you see async network I/O, and that's the end of it.
Not only are people still using Access, but they are still like defending Access on that one blog post Brent wrote like a decade ago. Still in their swords drawn, like Access was great for some things.
Somebody wrote a blog post on why Access rocks, like 10 reasons on why Access rocks, and I was so horrified by it that I immediately had to write a point-by-point rebuttal, like, no, that's not true, no, that's not true either, no, that's definitely not true. I'm like, it's free. I'm like, no, it's cost $400. And but now the number of comments that this thing has, 236 comments.
The most commented on thing on the internet.
Passionate little topic. So, Doug, what are you up to this week? You always get all kinds of cool toys that you get to go play with. So, got any cool toys that you've been playing with at the office?
Probably the last one we've been playing with is a new Unity array.
What's Unity?
So Unity is it's a SAN product. It's a mid-range SAN product from the EMC side of Dell EMC.
Oh, yeah.
And so one of the things that, not to spoil it too much, but one of the things that I'm actually going to talk about is how you can get your own copy of the Unity array.
Oh! So this is going to be like, yeah.
Yeah, we're giving out free SANs today.
Woohoo! Dot diggity! Yeah.
This is your lucky day.
Oh, man. So the only problem is my wife has told me if I bring home any more electronics gear, I have to throw something else out. So.
Okay.
That's how I feel about toys.
So she's got to go, right?
Well, you're in luck because it's virtual, so.
Woohoo! All right.
Like my girlfriend.
Oh, jeez. Yep. Yeah, now you can store your virtual girlfriend on a virtual SAN. There you go.
There you go.
Oh, boy. My goodness. Let's see here. Aid says she wants a demo of lock behavior on Cascade updates.
Now that I'd like to see. Now that's an interesting one. I mean, I've never seen a demo. I know what happens, but a demo would be cool of that.
Oh, okay. So what I'll do is during Doug's talk, why am I doing? You guys can set up your own demo.
Pay attention to Doug, not during Doug's talk. Pay attention to Doug.
Like I'll set up a demo for that. No, yeah.
Doug gave us cool hardware to play with.
Background for those of you who haven't seen it, Dell DBA days, we went out to Round Rock last year and got to play with tons of hardware, server storage, and do heinous things to them. Just awful, horrible. And Doug's showing us the performance graphs, and he's like, here's a server you're like brutally murdering in a half.
That was a good time.
Yeah, we're still trying to clean that stuff up. So.
These two servers won't start up for some reason. We can't. I don't know what's happening.
The best was when I think 2 years ago, Doug was going and pulling servers out of the data center, walking around with them on camera. That was fantastic. Let's see. Aid says she would love to see that demo. Jeff says someone's about to break out a Sans body pillow. That's terrifying. Didn't Scarlett Johansson star in a movie about that? Which led to just a fantastic blog post. Infinite. Hey!
My son's now awake.
How's he feeling?
Oh, he's good. Yeah, gosh, yeah, he was down for the count for like 5 days. His energy was zapped for probably 2 or 3 days after that, and he lost 4 pounds, which is a lot for a 9-month. And he had the flu, but he had he had no issues of throwing up or the other end. It was just just complete zap of energy. He had headache and tummy problems, but nothing was coming out. But 4 pounds just from lack of eating.
That's crazy.
That's a lot for a little guy.
Get that boy some Twinkies.
Yeah. He has no problem eating now.
Good.
To get those 4 pounds back.
Man, start feeding him bulletproof coffee.
Yes. there's a donut shop that nearby that has a really good iced coffee. It's like caramel iced coffee, and he loves it. It's like you can only have like 2 sips of it. That's it.
It's dessert crack.
Yes, exactly.
So that's how I got started on coffee, was my grandma, who was planted on a couch watching CNN for like 10 years straight. I would go over to her house, and she had continuously had pots of coffee on, and she, do you have anything to drink, Grandma? Yeah, the coffee's over there. No, like sodas, no milk, nothing, just coffee. That was how I got started. No sugar, no cream. Nope. Yeah, she just straight had it piped in from the Culligan man straight into the coffee maker. It's like, damn, Grandma. At least she didn't get me started on smoking. Because she would just coffee and smoke continuously. She did get me started on CNN though. Phenomenal blog post that has its roots in the movie Her. It's really good, by Jeff Atwood, one of the co-founders of Stack Overflow, and has this great explanation of latency using human timescale. Can't say enough good stuff about that. It comes up in every single one of our pieces of training classes. God, every time I go look over at Slack, I get more and more scared. Teddy says, got any Excel wizards? No, come on, no. Yeah.
My last company had a whole bunch of business users that were, advanced with Excel, and man, those queries that they would run through Excel were, they were terrible on the SQL Server side, but it was a readable replica for availability groups, so at least they weren't hitting the writable side. But they had some pretty advanced Excel stuff going on.
Horrible, terrifying. And for those of you who are just watching the Slack stuff roll by, you can get there via SQLslack.com. If you go to SQLslack.com and scroll down, it's got the instructions on how you get invited to Slack, how to get into the GroupBy channel. There are channels for PowerShell, DBA tools, blogging, all kinds of crazy stuff. So. Lots of
the best thing that's ever happened with Excel was that guy who made like an RPG out of it. It was like 2011, 10 or 11. It was this accountant who like built an RPG inside Excel, and it was like the most insane. Yeah, that one.
Wow.
It is bananas. Bananas.
Okay, so you have my attention. Wow, there's a what? Wow.
Yeah.
Oh, I love it.
Yeah, it's like playing Zelda, but better.
Wow.
It's in Excel, and Excel is awesome.
Did you guys see that link I posted a couple days ago in Slack? What was it? Asteroids via PowerShell.
No.
No, I missed that.
Oh.
I think I have a thing that filters out PowerShell.
It was Space Invaders. Space Invaders via
Invaders?
PowerShell. Yeah.
Oh, nice.
My husband posted it on Facebook, shared it on Facebook. I was like, oh, I've got to put this in the company chat room.
Wow.
You have to do that.
PS
It's not just ready to go.
Oh my God, that's terrifying. Wow. That reminds me of
so it could use for PowerShell.
Yes. I mean, we're kind of anti-PowerShell here. Not really anti, but we don't use PowerShells. But this is a neat usage of it.
Which then reminds me of one of my favorite bloggers, Brad Schulz, who I haven't heard from in a while. I got to go ping him and see what's going on. But amazing blog posts, and has a T-SQL poker generator thing, so you can play poker. So you can be like, look, I'm working on my T-SQL, but you're really just sitting there playing poker.
I took a C# class at my last job, and it wasn't the beginner class, but it was the next step up, but C# 1. And our assignment at the end, we had to do a poker. It was all through like a DOS. It was all a command, but it was interesting. It worked. I completed it. But it was kind of fun.
Oh, I could totally
all these
see
developers listening are probably going, "Oh my God, that's so silly." That's so easy. But I've always been a production DBA, and you just dabbled a little bit in C# as far as creating CLR objects to help with database administration type tasks, that type of thing. But those were all really tiny. So this was reaching out of my comfort zone.
Man, you're still better than me, because I used Visual Studio back in like 2001, 2002, and now I open it and it's terrifying. And I say I open it like I look at people opening it. I haven't had it installed on my machine for probably 10 years. Wow, so much respect for developers.
We had to have 3 different versions of Visual Studio installed at my last job, because we had SSIS 2008 R2, and you had to pair that with Visual Studio 2008. We also had SSIS 2012. You had to pair that with Visual Studio 2010, and then we had SSIS 2014, and you had to use 2015. It was like crazy. We had like 3 or 4 versions of Visual Studio on all of our all the DBA and the database developers' machines.
The worst tasting menu ever.
Yeah.
Pair this with this. And you're like, I'm already sick. I don't want it.
You'll be running it on out-of-support hardware and VMs with 2 cores. Let's see here. Jeff says, I wrote an Excel macro once that ended up saving the company 200,000 man-hours a year. They said thank you. Yep. Yeah, well, it could be worse. You could have to support it for life. Yeah, it's pretty nasty. People say, J.D. Walker says, the contract I'm on now requires me to make views available in a database to business analysts who are using Excel for data analysis. Yeah, and then they complain when they lock up the whole entire database, solid as a rock.
Because they had space on one cell.
Yeah.
What's it doing? What's it doing? You're like, tell you what it's doing.
Same thing I'm going to do to you. God. Brian says, I played tic-tac-toe on an IBM mainframe in 1972. Brian, I think you were just using whiteout to draw on the side of it, and I don't think that really counts. That's different. He said in Dungeons & Dragons in text in 1979. All right, so did either of you, because I'm betting you're old enough to do this, did either of you play multi-user dungeons on the internet or BBSs?
I'm way too cool to have done that kind of stuff.
Yeah. I definitely used BBSs, but I never got into MUDs.
Oh man, that was I think the biggest reason I dropped out of college was I discovered what MUDs were. Oh man, those were. Yeah, Pittsburgh says he loves MUDs. Several people. Yeah, man. I wish I could remember which MUD I used to play. And playing IRC, playing Jeopardy on IRC, where you were playing with people from around the world. I'm so old. All right. So let's see here. What else should we tell people? Pittsburgh says local BBSs and NetHack. Yeah, and remember, you only had so many hours per month of phone calls. You had only so many minutes per month that you could make, even to local numbers. So then you'd have to get off the phone. Oh man. And Z-Modem, that upload and download protocol where it would cancel right before the download was over so that you didn't lose all your credits.
Yeah.
Yeah, all these hacks. Things, someone should build a Slack bot that translates acronyms. Or things like when I was your age. The things that I described, people are 5 1/4-inch floppies. What?
You could actually fan yourself with them. Those things were great.
Yeah. Made nice noises. All right. Herp says IRC is alive and well in some quarters. It will never die. It's in Slack is going to be our generation's IRC. We're just all going to be playing around inside there for years. Because who doesn't love GIFs, right? Magical. So let's see.
It's a web shell for IRC, as far as I'm concerned.
Yeah, there you go. It's basically the same thing. There we go. Sure, that's perfect. No, that's not perfect.
Uh-oh.
Yeah, well, it is what it is. Let's see here. What else should we talk about before we get started?
He never liked IRC probably because everyone just kept kicking him. That was the best part of IRC was when you got that /kick command. You could just get out, get.
Ban people out. So after Doug, we have at 12 noon Eastern today, we have Steve Jones, one of the founders of SQL Server Central, talking about bringing DevOps to the database, which I should look and see if we had 2 continuous integration sessions that were both in the top 10 at one point. I haven't seen if they're still in. I was kind of surprised. I didn't know that continuous integration was going to be that big of a thing with y'all. So we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. So right now there's the top 10. Olivia, yeah, no, there's consolidation. We just have, all right, so now we just have James Anderson, who I lovingly call Mr. Anderson. Anytime I see, we had a class student 2 weeks ago, 3 weeks ago, it's been a while, in San Diego, and just love to be able to call the guy Mr. Anderson. Yes, Mr. Anderson.
Mr. Anderson.
Mr. Anderson.
I wish we'd see Microsoft, more Microsoft people submitting sessions to GroupBy. Although I wouldn't recognize their names unless they're, very notable people.
Yeah. Well, Connor Cunningham hates my guts, so that's probably he's probably.
Yeah.
Where's that Joe Sack fella? He seems nice.
Oh,
sure, he's not. He doesn't seem busy at all. I mean, he could just hop
And he seems to like us okay.
Yeah, I adore Joe Sack. And I adore Connor Cunningham too, as well, for that matter.
It's just not feeling. The feeling's not mutual.
Connor, if you're watching, I love you. I really do. Yes. And I was going to say I love you more than Joe Sack, but I really love both of them equally. They're both. I don't know how this works. I don't know any dumb people at Microsoft. Like, it seems like every time I meet somebody, I'm like, holy cow, they're smart.
But what about those? I mean, you used to be a production DBA, and you'd have to call Microsoft, and you get the low-level you get this engineer, and it's just like, I have more knowledge than this guy. Yes. I can Google this, right?
Yes. Yeah, there was that. I trended not to call support too often. That's true.
Yeah.
Yeah. And it's not. Yeah. I guess maybe it's now just the circle that we run in, the people who are community presenters and all that for Microsoft, right. People who get involved.
Yeah. Those aren't the people that are, answering the calls when you call for support.
Yeah, no.
Yeah, but every company has that level 1 support where it's just someone reading off a script. Like you can't call any place where they're like, did you try restarting it?
Yeah.
Every company has that.
Server.
Does every company have that, Erik?
We have Richie is that for us, right?
I was going to say. Because remember, Erik, you're the one answering Stack Exchange questions.
You don't have that's true. I'm level 1 on Stack Exchange.
Oh, we should look at
restarting.
Please try restarting. We should look and see. That was one thing I wanted to pull up this morning was, well, let's go look at questions together on Stack Exchange. So dba.stackexchange.com. Let's go see what's going on out here. I'm not clicking on that one. Nope, not going to happen. Unable to use datetime 2 in partition function? Go on. Removing them, no.
Hey, AM2, I know that guy.
Yeah, that's a pretty smart. Where's AM2? Is he even in the...
He's a comment.
Oh, he commented. Okay, there we go. Commented. AM2, nice guy, very nice. Let's see. Any of these look interesting that we want to answer live? One question with new activity. Always on log files bigger than the database files. Oh, I know why that is. We had a SQL wrap. So wraps, for those of you who aren't used to it, that's when Microsoft comes in and does, it's like risk assessment. I think that's what it stands for, risk assessment plan or whatever, where they give you a quick health check. We got a warning that the log files are bigger than the database files. They advised me to remove databases from always on, change the recovery mode to simple, shrink the log files back and put it out to always on, and then change my maintenance plans, log back up every hour.
So what were you saying about Microsoft? You're not anyone dumb? What's it like?
Yeah. I guess we found one.
Yeah.
And I'm not referring to Menhima. I'm referring to the advice that he got from Microsoft.
I don't think Menhima works for Microsoft.
All right. Whose answer is this from? Sean. Sean, I'm sure you're a nice guy. Oh, there's SP Blitz.
Downvoted.
Downvoted. Yes. Oh boy. So here's the thing with always-on availability groups and transaction log files. In theory, yes, always-on availability groups do not need larger transaction log files, but sooner or later, you're going to have a replica go down. From the time that a replica goes down, the log files across all of the remaining replicas will grow. SQL Server will, and I need to be careful about how I say that. I have this running buffer in my head that goes like 5 seconds back. Your log file space will not get reused because SQL Server needs to be able to reseed that replica from where it was, the down replica, whenever that down replica comes back. And it doesn't know which replica is going to be the primary at that point in time. So your log space is not cleared out exactly the same way as if you had a begin tran, somebody went home for the night, a long-running transaction. So it's normal to see large log files that are larger when you're dealing with always-on availability groups, when you have replicas break frequently. If you have super reliable replicas, that's just not as much of an issue. Classic example was at one of the shops that we had, a reporting replica went down on Friday night, and the DBA said, don't worry about it, it doesn't matter. We can simply go rebuild that on Monday. Well, what they forgot was the log files were going to grow. They came back in Monday morning, and the log files were 3 times the size of the database. So, fun stuff. Jeff says, are we sure they didn't talk to someone at Microsoft? Did I say simple recovery mode? Please tell me I didn't say mode. No, the question did. The question,
yeah. So he was correct, and he must be from office hours because he knew I'm all about the model.
Yes. Somebody mentioned
Brent
that.
just got an upvote.
What? Oh, ooh, who's upvoting me? Let's go see.
Are you able to tell that?
Yeah. Oh, who upvoted now?
Okay, I wasn't sure because you're so high up. I wasn't sure if you had like some kind of badge that allows you these backdoor.
Back when I still had a domain account there, yes, but
domain account.
Yeah, I didn't bother to reset my password, and I ran out of time. Oh, that's cool. All right, let's see here. We got about 5 minutes left, so I will go ahead and make Doug the presenter so that he can set up his desktop. Let's see here.
He's probably sick of us chatting.
Right.
He's so bored.
Never quite works the way.
Not at all. Not at all.
He's like, wasn't a week with you guys enough?
They didn't shut up then. They don't shut up now.
Seriously.
Oh, that's funny.
What's the worst word you've ever heard Mommy say?
Yeah, unfortunately, I had to be careful. Any words that the kids have learned have been through me.
Oof. And you can't show her the company chat room then up either because company chat room is not safe for
on-call words.
It's a good thing we don't have an HR department.
Yeah, the running joke
she's
is
just never in Slack.
That's true. Yeah. She's the worst offender out of all of us.
I have to keep switching off the headphones because I can use the audio from the webcam. It doesn't sound as good, but so she can hear you guys. That's why I take them off.
Hello.
So
like tattoos?
Yeah. None yet. My son has a tattoo right here, though. It's a temporary one.
Oh. What do you get? Does it say mom?
Oh, it's like, I don't know, Minions or something. I don't even know.
He's a Jen and Sean McCown fan. All right. Who isn't? Who isn't? Yes. All right, so what are you learning in school today?
Oh, you have to talk now. She's been wanting to talk on the new microphone. When I'm not using it, she puts it close to her face to pretend she's... It's the microphone here.
It's like a TV thing. Yeah, it's like your David Letterman, or David Letterman's old. Jimmy Kimmel. Yeah. It's like your Jimmy Kimmel.
That kid in the sharp shirt. The sharp shirt you got there, kid. I like that.
Oh, yeah, he's the fancy pants in the family.
Buttoned all the way up. Erik does that same thing.
I do.
Yep.
Except I buttoned the top one and nothing else because I can't anymore.
Yes.
It's that working from home look. I'm like, this used to fit.
He's going to go do his hair because he's not done yet. There's more to his look.
It didn't look quite done.
Yeah. If he could, he would wear a tie every day to school. So I have to kind of, protect him. He does go to public school, and we have to be careful.
So you also have to be careful because he could get promoted to teacher if he keeps that.
Yeah.
Homeowner.
Someone from IBM might think he's a stray and pick him up and be like, come on, get back here.